Hi, I'm Hadass Tir, and this is Marxism in a Minute. We talked last week about how politicians love to tell us that we live in a middle-class country, right? And how they're going to save the middle class. And of course, there is such a thing as a middle class, but most of us are not in it. The spoiler alert for next week's Marxism in a Minute is that the vast majority of society is actually working class. Now, the middle class is a layer that stands in between the capitalist class and the working class. It's made up of small business owners, supervisors, managers, and some professional occupations where there's a certain amount of autonomy at the workplace, like doctors and lawyers. The middle class is often the daily face of our exploitation, right? They're the people that reprimand us when we're late or possibly reward us with a raise, but we rarely encounter the CEOs that actually benefit from this arrangement. Now, with that definition in mind, at most about a third of American society is middle class. And that number is shrinking because most of the traditionally deemed professionals are being shoved into the working class. Computer programmers become routine code writers, social workers with tremendous caseloads end up filling out forms all day long. Universities increasingly rely on adjuncts instead of tenured professors. And within all these jobs as well, there's a lot of differentiation, right? So if you're a doctor operating a private practice versus working in an emergency room, you have a very different level of control at the workplace. So Marx and Engels actually wrote about this process in the Communist Manifesto. They said the bourgeoisie, the capitalist class, has stripped of its halo every occupation hitherto honored and looked up to with reverent awe. It has converted the physician, the lawyer, the priest, the poet, the man of science into its paid wage laborers. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. We'll see you next week at Marxism in a Minute.